Emily felt very sad. She didn't know why. It was her birthday soon, and last birthday she'd been very happy and excited. Her birthday would be different this year. Last year, when she was 5, Emily had run into her parents' room and jumped on their bed. "I'm 5!" she yelled. They hugged her, and together Mum and Dad watched while she opened her presents. Then Emily went out with Mum and had pancakes for breakfast while Dad went to work. That was the last happy day that Emily could remember. One day soon after her birthday, her daddy sat next to Emily and said, "Emily, your mum and I will always love you, but we didn't love each other in the same way we used to. So Mum and I are getting a divorce." Emily didn't know what divorce meant. She was only 5 after all. "What's a divorce, Dad?" she asked. "It's when we live in different houses, and I see you some of the time, but not every night. You will live with Mum, and I will see you at the weekends." Emily burst into loud tears. "But I still love you, Daddy," she said. "I don't want to divorce you." Dad said, "Divorce is only something adults do." Her dad sounded sad too. "We will still love you very much, but things will be different now." Emily's life changed a lot after her dad moved out. She had to stay at after-school care some days as Mum went back to work. She had to move to a different house. Her beautiful home that she was born in belonged to another family now. She had to go to a new school just after she started prep, where she didn't know anyone. Her dad had moved to another city where there was more work. Although she saw him every weekend, it was a long trip, and she felt strange and anxious the day before she went to him. Her dad seemed so different and sad, even though he took her to a playground or to a park and played, and sometimes they went to McDonald's. The weekends felt weird. Dad lived in an apartment building that had no garden, and she wasn't able to take her pet dog with her. She had her own room, but it was very tiny, and she only had a few toys there. Emily felt very nervous in the night as the noises were different to her home with Mum. Mum and Emily now lived in a small townhouse, but it had a swimming pool and there were other children around to play with, and they were able to have their dog. After she came home from her dad's house, Emily sometimes cried for a whole day. Sometimes she got really angry at her dad for leaving them, and then she told Mum that she didn't want to go there at the weekends. "You have to go, Emily," sighed her Mum. "Your dad loves you. If he loved me, he would stay with me." Emily shouted, "I'm not going there again." "But you have to go," said Mum. "The court said so." "I'm not going," screamed Emily. "The court can't tell me what to do. I don't even know what a stupid court is." Emily refused to get out of the car at her dad's the next weekend, and her mum had to carry her inside. Emily kicked and yelled and pulled her mum's hair, and then her dad had to take her out of her mum's arms. Mum was crying when she left. Emily felt very angry, sad, alone, exhausted, guilty and scared, all at once, in different parts of her body. Later, Emily heard Dad talking to Mum on the phone. "This is not working, Lou," said Dad. "We will have to get help for Em." That scared Emily a lot. Things were different enough now without more changes happening. On the day of her birthday, Emily and her mum went to the Rainbow House. She didn't want to go, but she wanted to please Mum so she would stop crying so much. Her mum went into another room with other mothers. Emily's throat was dry and her stomach hurt. She could even hear her own heart beating loudly. She went into a big room with other children and adults. Soon Emily started to feel better. She made a pretty envelope with her name on it and forgot to be nervous when a lovely lady sat next to her and helped her do some worksheets about how much Emily's life had changed. Emily didn't know how they knew, but there was a birthday cake for her at the end of the session. She didn't know the other kids, but they all sang happy birthday to Emily, even though she didn't know them. In a way, she felt she knew them, as they all had shared big changes in their own lives. Emily felt normal now she knew that other dads lived in different houses. Every week after that, Emily went to the Rainbow House. She learned that big changes gave all children big feelings. Other children were there whose parents had got a divorce. Some children had a dad who died. Emily felt glad that her dad was still alive and she could still see him. Gradually, she was able to talk to her buddy about her big, strong feelings that pushed her around. She learned some ways to keep her feelings in control. She learned a bit about her brain and how it made her flip out sometimes. She did some meditations that helped soothe her. On the final session, her mum and dad both came to the group, and Emily was so proud that they both saw how many things that she had learned. She showed them her body outline, her mountain meditation, her clay, her masks, and her yoga activities. Emily made a safe space at her dad's apartment. Even though her bedroom was small, she made a little circle of crystals and put her favourite toys in the centre. She practiced her butterfly hug at Dad's, and he downloaded a special meditation app for her. Soon, Emily loved visiting her dad's house. Emily still felt sad that her mum and dad were divorced, but she learned that she had some things inside her that helped support her through the changes. They would help her all through her life when other changes happened. Emily wants to come back to the Rainbow House when she's older and help other children. If other kids ask her about the Rainbow House, Emily will say, "Go there when big changes happen in your life. It is fun." Emily herself has really changed. Emily is resilient.